welcome once again to one of these things. I can turn off the the jazz music. I don't know why I chose that. Anyway, welcome everyone to another one of these streams. Hope you're all ready for an interesting day. First and foremost, I gotta tell you right now, a lot of you guys don't know how to take. I don't know what a joke is. I have gotten so many comments about Sabula in the last 5 days. I have gotten so many comments. I almost don't want to like single any one of them out, because it's like, on one hand, it's like to an extent like, oh, maybe you didn't know I was joking. Maybe you didn't realize it was a gag, a goof. But then, like, some people got like really upset that like I didn't think that Sabula lived at the end of Phantom Menace. None of that matter. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, it didn't get updated. It's a shame.
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $5. Howdy, Tilda, love your SNLBGM.
Oh, thank
As
you.
to your stream topic,
Lupin the Maelstrom
what
super
Kendra
chatted
Saunders
$5
Hawkgirl would do, but
Howdy,
Shayera
Tilda,
Hole
love
would
your
definitely
SNLBGM.
be
no.
NBD Tilda. As to your stream topic, can't say what Kendra Saunders Hawkgirl would do, but Shayera Hole would definitely murk a guy.
No, 100%. 100%. Sorry about that. Looks like it's sort of doubling up there a second. Sorry about that. Oh wait, how do I get this? Oh wait, cool. Maybe see something here. Does that actually echo there? Alright, it's all good. Let me unmute that tab. Sorry about that. I was a little confused there for a second. Sorry throwing you off. So, yes, no. Thank you for the SNL background. Yeah, I just use the jazz music somehow. Yeah, no. Shayera Hole, yeah, she would absolutely kill someone. I would say most Hawk girls would kill someone at some point or another. Storyline new video. Yeah, no, people got really upset. Like, I got like people saying, "Can you like re-edit the whole video to take that out?" I'm like, dudes, it's not worth that much. It's a gag. Don't worry about it too much. Like, just like relax and have fun with it. Don't worry too much about it. Also, it looks like there was something off about what I just did, because it should have. Yeah, okay, hang on. This should be a different image. Okay, so I made a mistake then with submit. That should have saved. Oh, I guess it didn't save correctly. Okay, that's fine. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, I'm just setting the image for membership real quick. And save. Okay, cool. Let me double check to confirm that. Alright, that sounds good. Okay, cool. So the next super chat that comes in will have a different image. Haven't changed the sound yet properly, but the image and GIF will be different on the super chat membership ships that come on in. Yeah, no, people really care about Sabula. I was actually really stunned by that. I didn't think they would care about Sabula. That's kind of strange to me. Because Sabula was always like a minor Star Wars character. I never thought anyone really cared about that particular gulp shitto. But, you know, what are you going to do? I don't know. I think there's a lot of worse things to talk about with Star Wars than whether or not Sabula showed up or not for a couple, whether or not he lived through the end of his pod race or not. There we go. That's better.
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $2. On the third day Sabula rose again, true chosen one.
Indeed, Sabula, the true chosen one, the true master of our faith. Oh, another membership, cool. Oh, thank you so much for the gifted memberships there. If you join as a member, you will be allowed into our exclusive Discord. I will be posting a link at the end of this video, the stream, or if I forget, I'll do it tomorrow morning, which I've done a few times. But no, thank you so much for the memberships. That's really fantastic. Yeah, no, Sabula, actually, it's funny is so the person who edited this video is Wave Runners. And Wave Runner made a special video he wanted me to share with everyone about Sabula. I'm going to bring it over here. 1 second. Let me download that real quick. 1 sec. Sorry. Cool. Just opening it up real fast. So Wave wants to make sure that you understand the truth about the situation, because he edited the Sabula joke. And he sent me a video detailing his thoughts on the matter. So I want to just let this run real quick. Right here looks good. So just so you get Wave's perspective on matters, I want to just let him air his thoughts fully to you, so you have an idea of what his perspective is on this egregious error made by the Anthony Guglia team. So this is his message right here. Yeah, so, yeah, so that's very important. I think it was a very important message. He felt very strongly about this and wanted to make sure he shared it with, we shared it with the group. And yes, it is in fact, it was deliberately made at 480p, which is just perfection. You will be missed, Sabula. You will be missed. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, people got really upset with this. I'm actually kind of stunned. They were like legitimate wild stuff. I mean, my usual stalkers stopped punching pillows they imagined to be me and made whole 3.5-hour videos about it. It's quite wild. It's really wild to me. And yet, right in front of everyone's face, can't believe we all missed it. It's wild what the Empire censors. Have I read the new Supergirl Women of Tomorrow? I have read Supergirl Women of Tomorrow, and I have been reading the new Supergirl run for reasons. In fact, for very good reasons, I have read the new Supergirl book. In case you haven't, I'm going to show you one of those reasons right now. It's very important. Ooh, hang on. We got here.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Vader tolerates murder cover-ups, with NOTSA, SMH.
Yep, but not SA. He tolerates a lot. He tolerates his cover-ups quite well. He's very subtle. What I miss in terms of your stalkers? Oh, no, just the usual. Another response video to my video. A whole bunch of stuff. It's all wild. But, in other news, I do want to bring up something else that happened. So yesterday was friend of the channel, Crimson Ender's birthday. And I want to play a clip from the birthday festivities, which I was a part of for some time, that I think is very distinct and tells me about about where I stand in terms of... yes, it is Asuka, by the way. That is Asuka on my wallpaper. I am a big fan. Where I stand in terms of Crim's esteem right here. I just want to share this with you.
Up next. Versus... These two are facing off to see who is the champion of, well, actually...
Somebody needs to clip this.
Apparently, I am the champion of Well Actually against the Polar Express nerd kid.
As he should. Maybe that'll be catharsis for Ant.
Insufferable to the extreme.
Also, this is apparently Crim's drawing of me. I'm very flattered by it.
With love, I promise.
Up next.
So yeah, just want to make sure we all saw where I stand in terms of things with Crim. Apparently, I am better than the Polar Express kid. So that's cool. That's neat. I like that. I really do hate that Polar Express kid. He really annoys me so much. It's truly the most agonizing thing I've ever experienced. But But let's talk about a few things. So this weekend, if you're in the New York area and you're going to Anime New York City, I will be there, walking around, not doing any panels and anything like that, but just chilling around. So if you bump into me, say hi. It's funny, I actually bumped into someone who may be in chat for all I know, who actually saw me at the Ren Fair this past weekend, and I didn't know how to respond. I think I got better at responding to people who actually recognize me now. So if you find me at New York City, I won't freeze up and be nervous. I do know they're going to be announcing some new stuff with Anime Ego, I think I saw, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited for that. I got a ticket a while back. It's funny, too, because I got a ticket, and then it turned out that my spouse will be giving birth a month later, so that's going to be a little bit of a mess. Yeah, if you're not in the UK, that might be a problem. I did not dress up for Ren Fair, but I did acquire this. So I got that going for me. This hat right here. So you got that going for me. It was I burn easily. I'm very white. I'm extremely white, which is a problem when you are in the sun. So I got this wide-brimmed hat for like $20 at the Ren Fair. Which is probably the cheapest thing you ever get at a Ren Fair. Just to cover my head and my neck so I didn't burn up. So there you go.
Dalman 5 super chatted $5. The Sabula conspiracy cut made me go, shut up and take my money before I die laughing, lol.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I when Wave sent me that, I'm like, I gotta bring this up on stream. Is this too goofy not to show on stream? Any HoloLive trash going in for All for One this weekend? Yeah, so there is some concert I'm pretty sure going on at I hope there was in V Shoujo at actually, let me see who's going to Anime New York City. I'm actually not even sure. Who is at Anime New York City? I'm going to bring up the page right now so I can say who I'm going to gush over at the convention. Because this is my stream. Before we get into the serious stuff, might as well goof around a little bit. But yeah, no, there's some cool stuff. Who's actually showing up? Guests. Here you go. Ooh, what do you got here?
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $2. NGL. The Paddington hat at first tilde.
That's not bad. It is kind of a Paddington hat, kind of. All right, so I'm going on maybe the weekend, like Friday, Saturday for sure. Okay. What we got here? That the director of Gurren Lagann? Oh yeah, the director of Gurren Lagann. Oh, design production of Gurren Lagann. And worked as a on Panty and Stocking season 1 and 2. I am, yeah. So Cyberpunk, Kill la Kill, Promare, yeah. Some of my favorites. Love it. Won't be this Sunday. Some cool. What about some? I know you people don't actually follow any of the industry people for anime. So let's just go to the VTubers. Oh yeah, some Mori Calliope. Mori Calliope, sorry. Industry guests. Nika Bears. A lot of voice actors, VAs. A lot of VAs. Oh, Sayu be there. Oh, and Amelie. That's that's the person I'll probably harass at some point. Oh my goodness. Not literally, jokingly I mean to say, because I really like her work. I shouldn't actually say that because it's that sounds like way worse, probably. Oh yeah, so a lot of cool people. Oh God, Sea Dog VA, and Iron. On Sunday though, so won't be there for that. Okay, appearing virtually. Oh, okay, yeah. And Iron Mouse appearing virtually. Actually, I might just show up for Sundays for that. Honestly, I can go Sunday. I got the whole weekend pass, but a lot of different people, a lot of different guests. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to go. I'm very excited to go. God, she was living her best life after her biggest OP turned out to be a monster. Wait, who was her biggest OP? Biggest opponent turned to be a monster. I'm not sure who are we talking about with that? Yeah, Xeno. Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on this. It'll be fun. I'm excited. Yeah, no, a lot. Would I be making Maybe about Star Wars theory and his grifting. I've done a few streams on it, but I've always found it kind of like... I've always found Star Wars theory a little exhausting, if I'm being honest with you. Because his stuff isn't, like, fun to talk about. It's always, like, petty squabbles, and it's just exhausting. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nick Wolf
Oh,
super
Christopher
chatted
Christopher Sabat, of course.
$1.99. Callie, Iris, and Nerissa? Excellent.
Oh, yeah, no. They got them all. They got them all. They got a lot of people there. I do admit, I'm not really big in, like, Iris. I haven't really seen much of her stuff before, but a lot of the... But just in general. Brad Taste in Music. Oh, Brad Taste in Music. That whole drama is ridiculous. Oh, him? Oh, sorry. That's a whole thing right there. Anyway. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of names. A lot of names. Easy to overlook. Oh, yeah, Naruto. Like, it's easy to overlook, like, a few names, even just with how many they are. It's really cool. Yeah, and Xeno, of course, right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Anyway, so that's going to be this my weekend. It's going to be kind of fun. If you're going and you want to say hi and you see me, just, you know, throw something. Just throw an Oscar figurine at me. I'll notice. Don't do that. That might hurt. Bro lost his mind under zero pressure. Yeah, exactly. Brad Taste Music. That was ridiculous. Brad Taste. I'm keeping track of English. I've been keeping track of that conflict from like drama channels basically because I don't really follow music YouTubers at all, but still. Hiroyuki Imashi. Where was Hiroyuki? I missed that. Yoko Taka. This one I want to say. I think she's doing like an Evangelion thing. I want to see that. Where are we? In English. Where did I? Oh, yep. There you go. Right here. Perfect. Yep. There we go. Yep. This is gonna be exciting. This I want to see because again, where does he? What are his panels? He's in one of his panels actually because I love Gurren Lagann. Adore that. Pain Stocking obviously and Garter Belt's fantastic. Where is his panels? Yeah, there's the Yoko Takashi, One Punch Man, visual content, Hololive. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, still. Yeah, no. It's gonna be. There's a lot of people showing up. Anyway, so I you know what? I'll come back to this later if I want to like scan and stalk to see if anyone I know is doing a panel there. I don't think Red Bart is going. Otherwise, I'd like try to like harass them there because they're pretty cool. But anyway, what am I doing with this? Okay, cool. So let me just go to the first order of business, shall we? Let's start with the first order of business, which is, of course, the least dynamic of all of it. And that is discussing... I have the link right here. Let's just jump into the whole discourse around Hawkgirl recently, because it's ridiculous and dumb. I'm going to pause this so I don't get copyright struck, except I'm going to leave it on like the best screenshot of the movie. Now a little... There we go. That's right. The best screenshot of the movie right here. Anyway, so yeah, let me zoom in right here in case you can't really see it clearly. So right here we have the tweet that started it all from the marvelous Mark CC, which I'm not gonna, I don't want to like bother the guy too much, so don't harass the guy. Superheroes are supposed to save people, not kill people, and of course it's a scene from Superman 2025. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie, she kills a guy by dropping him from a very high distance. And if you have seen the movie, you realize it's a point that's kind of very interesting. Oh, wow.
X-Men superfan Emma Frost super chatted 77 cents.
It's a little
What
more
would
than
you like
77
out of a WW? Also sorry that my country's money does not translate to a lot in yours.
No, that translates to a substantial amount, honestly, looking at this right here. That's a big deal. For whatever reason, it doesn't translate to a lot on it's not you, it's Stream Elements. For whatever reason, it can't translate foreign currency into English. This is more than 77 cents. I'll put it that way. That's a pretty big super chat for American dollars. It's just for whatever reason, Stream Elements translates foreign currency to tiny fractions, even though it is not 77 cents. That is a lot more than that. Seriously. Thank you for the generous super chat, and don't worry about a thing. You're doing fantastic. That's incredible. But for whatever reason, Stream Elements doesn't always translate it correctly. And that's okay, because my bank account does translate it correctly. And that's all that matters. Thank you so much again. Yeah, that's not 77 cents. That's a lot more than that.
Olivia Williams super chatted $3.62. Where was he the last 40 years? Superheroes killed a lot, starting with Tim Burton Batman.
Absolutely correct. That's a big one right there.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Marvelous Mark. Where were you at Black Adam?
Seriously. Well, Black Adam did a lot of he did a lot of killing in that. Hell, Wolverine, just right there, one of the most iconic heroes of all time. He has a high body count. But yeah, no. Even though Superman doesn't like killing and doesn't want to kill and avoids killing, the last solo Superman movie ends with Superman killing his big bad with his bare hands. So that right there, I already got to I have to get some doubt there. I can't really believe that. Let's see some of the engagements here. Yeah, so fascists aren't people. Yeah. Imagine how boring it would be if every superhero had the same moral compass. That's a big one too, of course.
Terminal Sanity super chatted $5. Not all superheroes have the no-kill rule. That's always been clear. I mean, hello, Iron Man?
Exactly. Iron Man. That's the thing too. Iron Man has a lot of kills under his belt, like a ton in his first movie. Thank you so much for joining as a member. Was it Yamate? Was it Yamate? Yeah. Good. Thank you for so much. Sorry, I couldn't read it clearly, unfortunately, on my screen. So I'm sorry I had to bend over like that to look in. Wow, a bunch of super chats at once. Wow.
Venom Wi-Fi super chatted $6.76. I wonder if this guy like Batman 89, since Batman kills the Joker in that movie, which would have been a hypocrite, or maybe he is a grifter.
I think he's just not thinking it through, but that's a good point too.
X-Men superfan Emma Frost super chatted 8 cents. Hawkgirl is a Wolverine Magneto Emma Frost type of hero.
Yeah, exactly. Way more like that, which is a lot. Which is
Lupin the
great,
Maelstrom super chatted $2. Didn't Wandy kill in her 2009 and 2017 movies?
Well, I don't think Wonder Woman killed in her 2009 movie because it doesn't exist, but the animated one, I guess. Yeah.
Protomorphid super chatted $2. Thoughts, if any, on the new Lego Batman game?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love Lego games. So I'm really excited to play it. Lawsuit chats coming in. Wow. Okay.
Olivia Williams super chatted $1.45. How many MCU villains survived their debut movie?
Well, let's see. Loki and Red Skull from Phase 1. Phase 2, you had Phase 2, I guess it's just just Yellow Jacket, and then even then it's only kind of barely. Phase 3, I guess Armin Zola from Phase 1, 2, I guess kind of counts, and Red Skull kind of counts, even though he sent to another planet. Very few. Phase 3 is where you get the most, and even then it's like minimal. Actually, Claw survives Avengers Age of Ultron, but then he gets killed in his next film. So, yeah, no, a lot get killed, honestly. And I guess Abomination, actually. And Thunderbolt Ross, he survives. A bunch actually live, but enough get killed off. But yeah, no. Anyway, so A friend of the channel here, we're great and inspiring heroes for children. We recognize this fact that a war criminals go bye-bye should be an endlessly praised trope. Yeah, no. 100%. There you go. Yeah, no. So, it's actually funny. A lot of people were annoyed at my video for apparently hard to define reasons that came out recently. And I feel like it's a lot of people upset by the mention of fascism, I think is what it is. And I think people have a very strong reaction to fascists in media, especially when depicted in media. And I just love the freaking, like, I love the screaming face. It just cycles endlessly throughout all this because it's, like, just so goofy. But yeah, no. So, good movie, good times. I think it's a little silly that, people are reacting this way about, about Hawkgirl. I think Hawkgirl is one of those characters who can get away with a few things, can do some fun, can do some fun things, can, an occasional killing of the villain as a treat is always fun. But yeah, no, I think, I just love that expression she makes. It's so goofy. But I think the faux outrage about this is really ridiculous. I mean, Hawkgirl is ultimately stopping an evil guy. And the whole point is that she's not like Superman. And again, like it was mentioned before, very famously, Batman in Batman 89 does kill Joker. And while I do think it's interesting how that is the case and how that, kind of translates into a bigger discussion about how that film is different and how that film explores the character of Batman, I think undeniably one element that does stand out to me is that you get a different sense of what's going on with the character. You get a different sense of what the character can be, what heroes can be. Yeah, no. So this is, of course, obviously just the beginning of a discussion, and I think that we kind of reached the end of it. I think we all kind of agree it's silly to complain about Hawkgirl killing, because she's not Superman. But one thing that is a little less silly is that apparently Alien Earth came out, and apparently it's not bad because I've seen it. And I can tell you, it's not bad. But you know who doesn't like it? Nerdrotic. Now, we're going to go into a bit of a reaction here and take a look at Nerdrotic's reaction to Alien Earth. But I want to point out right now my thoughts on it real quick. If you haven't seen Alien Earth yet, the first 2 episodes are out on Hulu and Disney+. Strange thing to say. Disney has been really good with their intense R-rated sci-fi franchises. Star Wars, they're a little bit more of a mixed bag when it comes to Predator and Alien. Disney has been doing a really good job by hiring people who are excited to talk about aliens and all that good stuff. We got super chats coming in.
Ricano super chatted $10. Besides, Hawkgirl is an ancient warrior reincarnated through time.
Exactly. And Hawkgirl's awesome as hell.
X-Men superfan Emma Frost super chatted 15 cents. Do you think Robert Pattinson and David Cornsweet be a good fit as DCU Batman and Superman? And do you think that Rachel and Zoe would also be a good match?
I think they'd be really good foils. I kind of want them to have their own version of Batman separate for the DCU.
Schmaltz super chatted $5. Me when characters don't follow basic tropes.
Exactly. A lot of basic tropes get ignored with a lot of people ignore basic tropes in storytelling when responding online. It's kind of crazy. I do think Rob Pattinson and David Cornsweet would be a good foil for each other, but I do kind of want to see Batman with the Bat family established in DC Universe. I just think it'd be more interesting. So I do think they would all pair. I think the actors would play the characters perfectly against each other. I think they both serve as great foils to each other, but I don't really think it will. I think it should be its own thing. I think they should be separate because I want to see what Matt Reeves cooks up on his own a bit. But again, I digress. But yeah, no. So Nerdrotic apparently does not like the the movie. Neither apparently does Tyrone Magnus, but apparently Tyrone Magnus copyright strikes anyone who responds to his media, so there's no point talking about it. There's us. L. Ron Hubbard there. Apparently Tyrone can like react to other people's content, but no one can react to his, apparently. Angry Joe thinks it's the best show of the year, maybe according to his thumbnail. I might check that out. I think I saw... I know apparently people think it sucks and they can prove it. Okay. But let's take a look at what Nerdrotic says, because I want to give my thoughts on Alien Earth real quick. First, I think it's the first 2 episodes so far are a great introduction to the world. I think it's really cool. Oh, more super chats.
Sebastian Smith super chatted $2. DCU should wait to introduce Batman. TT Robin first.
There you go. Exactly. Teen Titans
Nick
Robin.
Wolf super chatted $4.99.
I think it's cool.
Tony Stark, Captain America, Batman, Superman,
Mm-hmm.
sadly, the God G, Diana, Aquaman, etc. Surprisingly, neither T'Challa or Shuri killed anybody.
Yeah, in fact, it's a big plot point how they don't kill someone, though they want to at times. They choose the peaceful route.
Crispy Draws super chatted $5. Which batsuit would you prefer in the DCEU, black and gray, or vastly superior blue and gray costume with briefs?
Blue and gray. Blue and gray. I think blue and gray, but I want the symbol to be yellow. I want the yellow bat symbol with like the black shadow against it, like in the 89 movie. I think it'd be a fun one.
Venom Wi-Fi super chatted $6.76. I admit that Alien Earth is the only Aluum stuff that I enjoy because it's a good starting on point without having watched the Alien movie franchise.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Alien Earth tells a contained story in the Alien universe. All the components of Alien are there, but you can just jump right in. Also, Alien Earth created one of the single greatest images of all time. One of the greatest shots in any show ever is crafted in Alien Earth. And when I saw this, I laughed my butt off. It's perfect. There's no notes to this image. Now, you might be thinking, Anthony, what's wrong with this shot? It looks at a totally normal close-up of the main character's face. But you're not looking at the right side of the shot. Do you see him? Here, let's zoom in. Let's enhance. Do you see him yet? My head's blocking the way. Do you see him yet? Freaking Sid the Sloth from Ice Age is just there. Love it. Love it. No notes. No notes whatsoever. It's sheer perfection. But yeah, no, it's absolute perfection. Sid the Sloth is officially in Ice Age. And no notes. It's perfect. Absolute perfection. No argument there. Truly great. Sid the Sloth. So the idea is this is actually a child in an android human's body.
Nick Wolf
Adult
super chatted
body.
$4.99. I hope all these grifters complaining about alien wokeness never learned about the trans woman in Alien 1. Or, ever seen an alien movie.
That's correct. Alien 1 has a canonically trans character as part of the crew. This is canon and has been canon since the movie came out. It is also mentioned again in Aliens. It is canon. So, and technically when they talk about Ice Age being canon, it's like it just exists in this movie, which means, as someone pointed out, it's like a 116-year-old
Lupin the
movie at this point.
Maelstrom super chatted $2. The Ice Age reboot legacy is real.
It really is. But like the idea is that these children are watching kids' movies, so they grew up watching Ice Age, and she associates what the show does. Sometimes will have like these flashes of like hazy, translucent imagery that kind of connect what the characters are thinking about to something happening on screen, and so she associates being with her brother with watching Ice Age with her brother. The problem is this movie takes place over 100 years after Ice Age came out, so it's kind of like saying, hey brother, do you want to sit down and watch like a Trip to the Moon or something like that? I stole that joke. I didn't come up with that one myself. Someone else came up with that first. But yeah, no, it's just very funny how that works out. It's like a really old movie, but like for this era. It's just interesting how that works out. But again, Disney owns the rights to that, and so they show Peter Pan, they show Ice Age, because Disney owns them. They could license it more easily. But I do think it's funny how Sid the Sloth is now canonically in an alien thing. But I think it's really good so far. It's a really good mystery. There's a lot of good body horror in Alien Earth so far. And I think the idea of it being a cyberpunk dystopian kind of story really works. And I think it has one of the coolest moments ever, where they encounter kind of a rich people party of... Oh, sorry.
Schmaltz super chatted $2. Why is that Nerdronic thumbnail so crazy?
Nerdrotic only has one type of thumbnail, and it's the same type every time. He just takes what's from the show he's talking about and like applies it to that formula, that stencil sketch. And we're going to be seeing probably more Nerdrotic when we get to Bella Ramsey. I want to weigh on that one because that's like the top story of the evening, the whole Bella Ramsey thing. But I think Alien Earth is pretty solid so far. It has a lot of potential. I also have to admit, any show where they have like a French aristocrat, what do you call Eyes Wide Shut party getting attacked by aliens. I find a xenomorph, that already is one of the greatest things of all time. I love it. And let's see what they have to say here. Let's just stop being on the bush.
Nerderotic.com.
Friends, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying entertainment has seen better days, and it seems that originality is on life support. To state the obvious, you can look no further than what we've been inundated with over the last half decade. Unnecessary remakes, prequels, sequels, direct sequels, spin-offs, midquels.
A lot of these are actually older than a half decade, actually. Most of them are older than half a decade. But I digress. Considering that this year alone, let's look at the box office for this year going. The top grossing movies of this year so far. Let's take a look at the box office. Let's see how many, because it's actually pretty impressive how many movies are coming out right now that are original, that are really good. This is an older, that's a little too old. No, that's not it. No, that's of all time. No, give me 2025. Like we got movie. Okay, here's a few examples, right? We got Sinners that came out. We got Dogman, which is an adaptation. Mickey 17. We got F1 that was pretty big. Is pretty big. We got The Amateur. That was that was all right, I guess. I wouldn't put that as a big movie. But Fantastic Four technically is a reboot of an older franchise, but it's not really a remake sequel.
X-Men superfan Emma Frost super chatted 8 cents.
Yeah.
I can't stand his voice, and rich of him to talk about originality when he says the rest of the grifters.
Exactly. And, again, I want to point out, and Pink King, the YouTuber, mentioned this too. And so did The Birdman, and so did Movies with Mike. A lot of people mentioned this one too. How very distinctly all these grifters ignored Sinners. Not a single one talked about Sinners. Oh hell, Weapons came out a couple weeks back, and this came out after Weapons. That's an original IP, original film. But they don't talk about any of that. But you need non-original content to complain about. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, Weapons just came out this weekend. Fantastic. Oh, not weekend. 2 weekends ago. Fantastic movie. No one's talking about that on these Grifterverse circles. It's just very clear they're ignoring a lot of original films that they could talk about, that they could celebrate. But they don't, because it's not interesting to them. I mean, hell, Long Legs came out last year. Eddington came out recently. That's another example. Anything by Ari Aster or any of those guys. Nosferatu, though it is a remake of a much older film, is so distinct in its own respect. It's kind of hard to really see as anything but its own kind of thing. Challengers. Almost forgot about Challengers. That was fantastic. That was recently, too. Wow. Weapons of Ryan Hollinger. Yeah, he did. Hollinger. Hollinger has a lot of good videos. I like Ryan Hollinger's videos quite a bit. Yeah, Weapons is excellent. I'm going to do a video on Weapons and Sinners closer to Halloween, I think. But it is fantastic. Deeply so. I love it. Yeah, Movies with Mark is doing fantastic. Seriously. Oddly Noah's doing a lot of good work too recently too. I want to give him a shout out. He gave me a shout out in one of his videos recently, so I want to give him a shout out back. OG Blade's so amazing. Yeah, OG Blade's fantastic.
C-Cube Seal super chatted $13.52. I apologize for the off-topic question, but do you like Hollow Knight? Discovered your CHNNL yesterday. Have enjoyed your content thus far, laughing face.
Thank you so much, first off. Yeah, I like Hollow Knight. I haven't played in a while, but I do like Hollow Knight. I've wanted to start playing more games. Maybe I'll do it on Twitch, maybe alongside the channel, but I just want to find it, because I don't want to like clutter up your feed with like gameplay footage, so I might do it on Twitch, something like that, but I do enjoy Hollow Knight. I was just going to get back into Monster Hunter Wilds, but unfortunately the PC port's pretty bad for that.
Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. You know what's unoriginal? Whining about Hollywood.
Now, in fairness, I do want to say this right now. There are a lot of reasons to criticize Hollywood. A ton of reasons to criticize Hollywood. And they're all good reasons. But that's not true. Not all of them are good reasons. Some are good. Criticizing their employee practices, the refusal to break from formula, all that. That's good stuff to criticize. But this year, 2025, has been a great year for original storytelling to find an audience. And, listen, it sucks that, the new Marvel film isn't getting $1 billion. Sure. But isn't it great we get original productions that are getting way more attention than they normally would be? Like, isn't that fantastic? But again, I digress.
Interquels, intraquels, standalone sequels, paraquels, sidequels, legacy sequels, soft reboots, requels, reboots, spiritual successors, spiritual sequels. Now, what the hell is a standalone sequel? No idea, but let's talk about one more entry into the creative bankruptcy verse. Hell, maybe it'll be good.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Because it's time for some more Alien, or to be more specific, Disney's Alien.
So here's the thing with Disney's Alien. We've had 2 entries so far. Alien Romulus and Alien Earth. And they're both great. They're both really good.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Watch any non-franchise film challenge impossible.
Yeah, just watch Mickey 17. Mickey 17 just came out this year and it's fantastic. Watch Sinners. That's on HBO Max. Hell, watch Weapons. It just came out 2 weeks ago. Like, have some fun with things, seriously. Do they all sound like Just a Robot? I almost feel bad for Neutrotic for comparing him to Just a Robot. I don't even think he's that bad. I think I will give Neutrotic this. His enunciation is vastly better than Just a Robot. Just a Robot's, he's a rough one to listen to. Anyway. Yeah. So.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see if it's about it.
Oh no, not again.
The last entry was Disney's Alien Romulus, a film a lot of people liked, but I didn't. I equated it to a greatest hits album done by a horrible cover band.
A greatest hits album done by Neutrotic. How many other times have you seen an Alien movie where they have 0G acid blood? Like that doesn't have. Like, that's a weird thing to say, considering the movie does a lot of things that are different. For example, it actually shows the transition period between the alien, like, chestburster and the full-blown Xeno in a sequence that is so phallic and so... Fede Alvarez gets what Alien is about, and it's about really bizarre, horrifying imagery of the human anatomy, I'll put it that way. Also, the end sequence of Alien Romulus, yes, it is in some ways similar to Alien Resurrection, but dear Lord was it different. That was distinctly haunting. I just don't think that... was Alien Romulus a little safe at times? Yes. But the whole dynamic between not really siblings, but like the main character and her synthetic human, her robot brother, quote unquote, I thought that dynamic was fantastic. That character in general was fantastic. I really liked that character a lot. Also, I do want to point out that I find it very funny how Shadow and Bone actors keep showing up in Alien movies.
Eric Ermanita
Disney.
super chatted $4.99. Have you seen Roughest Draft's video on Drinker? He talks about how Drinker doesn't understand theme and motif. He also gives you a shout out.
Yes, I did see Roughest Draft's video. I did not know about Roughest Draft before seeing that video. It popped up my feed, and I've made a comment. I'm being jump scared myself on it, but his video is fantastic, really insightful, especially because it comes from the perspective of an ex-fan of Drinker. Like, you get that perspective of someone who used to really like his stuff for whatever reason, and kind of the wool is pulled off the eyes. Like, they kind of realize this guy's full of garbage. And you see his discussion of the topic. It was very insightful because usually with Critical Drinker, you only hear from people who never fell for it or are on the other side of the spectrum like I am. Whereas you don't really hear much from people who, they were into it, but then they realized, this isn't for me, or whatever reason they figured out, it's a grift. And you really get that sense of betrayal in his voice. You hear the hurt, I think, to an extent, but you also hear the repulsion of it, from a place of knowing it intimately, which I think is really important. But yeah, no. So the last two Alien movies keep having actors from Shadow and Bone in it, and my spouse keeps noticing this because we're watching Alien Romulus, and my spouse is like, "Wait, isn't that the privateer from Shadow and Bone?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is. I think, isn't it?" And we're watching Alien Earth, and we're watching it, and there's this one character I keep looking at, it's and I think, wow, that guy looks familiar. And my spouse is like, isn't that the guy? Isn't that the gambling gunslinger guy from Shadow and Bone who's part of the Crows? I'm like, oh yeah, it is. And I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny how that keeps happening. It happened twice, but it's weird it happened twice. Yeah, Pillar of Garbage his insight is fantastic. He knows what he's talking about. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say. So Nerdrotic at least admits he is a minority in this story. Most people like Alien Romulus, if not really enjoy it. Let's see what he has to say about this. What's his opinion?
Xenomorph versus Gen Z, but this one's going to be totally different because it's Disney's Alien Earth, which is Gen Z versus Gen Z.
That's what I'm talking about. This guy's from This guy's one of the crows from Shadow and Bone. So
Xenomorph, and it's not a movie; it's a streaming series on Hulu, which is soon going to absorb Disney Plus, but renamed Disney Plus because Disney doesn't want to admit that D Plus failed. Now, I can't say my hopes were high for Alien Earth, but I was at least intrigued because it was going to be written and some episodes directed by Noah Hawley, who admittedly has done some good work with Fargo in the first 2 seasons of Legion. Unfortunately, he also made the 3rd and final season of Legion. So are we going to get Fargo Noah Hawley or Legion Season 3 Noah Hawley? But before we even start, we already run into a bit of a problem. Alien Romulus was actually a sequel to a prequel and a prequel to a sequel, making it a midquel. Or was it? Technically, it was an interquel, a type of midquel that bridges...
Who cares? Listen, Alien is about a world. The movies of the original Alien trilogy focuses only on Ripley's character through her arc in this world. Horror does not need to be about the same protagonist. Saw fans can confirm that's the case. This is really pointless squabbling. Alien Earth is a standalone story set in a world that's already been established. It's that simple. It's nothing complicated there. It's like any other horror film that exists and has a timeline. It's not complicated.
The gap between 2 previously published stories. For example, a movie that occurs after the first movie but before the second movie in the series. Alien Earth is set before Alien, making it a sequel to a prequel and a prequel to the original, which would still make it a sequel in this case, making Alien Earth a true midquel, a story set within the time frame of an existing work, specifically between 2 already published stories. Or
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $2, and you respond to people like this weekly?
Sometimes.
Fearful rushed face.
Sometimes. I like to discuss stuff like this. I think it's important to note what people are saying. But I also think it's important to deconstruct some of this discussion because it dominates the entire film discussion landscape. You need a sense of you need some common sense with this discussion because it's just nonsense. Sorry. A lot of what he's saying is just complete nonsense. So you need that voice to say, hey, this is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, no, it's just Alien. Listen, Alien is a long franchise, but it's not one that's necessarily heavy in terms of continuity. Not to say that continuity isn't a factor, but it's not like a Star Wars where you have to follow the plot from movie to movie. If you just watch like one of the movies on their own, you're gonna be fine. Like you can actually watch Alien 3 on its own and follow the movie just fine. You'll get it well enough. I wouldn't recommend it. Alien and Aliens are the two best films in the series, but it's, you don't need to go. Oh, and thank you so much, Olivia Williams, for joining as a reader. Thank you so much. I think this is, anyway, let's keep going.
During a time skip within a single work. And based what I saw on the trailer, it looks like they were at least going to do something different, like finally going to Earth. Hell, maybe this will be loosely based on the excellent comic from Dark Horse, Alien Earth War. And I gotta say, Noah Hawley and Disney...
How can you talk about an alien movie on Earth without mentioning the original trailer for Alien 3? As an Alien fan, it's the first thing I thought of. Are you familiar with this, the original trailer for Alien 3? So, in case you don't know, this trailer came out, I'm going to show it to you right now. See if they let me do it. So, basically, this trailer, here we go. No closed captions. So.
We discovered in space, no one can hear you scream. In 1992, we will discover on Earth, everyone can hear you scream.
So the teaser just said, Alien 3, Sigourney Weaver, we're going to Earth. And then it was not on Earth. So how can you talk about aliens on Earth without mentioning that iconic detail right there? But, that would require actually knowing what the franchise you're discussing, which you really can't, Alien Earth War is your first thought? No. Alien 3, the original pitch. That's your first thought. Anyway. Alien 3 is a mix. I don't know. I feel mixed in Alien 3 to this day. I don't really love it. I think I like it more now that it's kind of sat with me and there's more Alien stuff out there. But when I was a kid, it was just 4 films. 2 of them were amazing. And then Alien 3 came out. And then Alien Resurrections, whatever the hell that movie is. I kind of like Alien Resurrection more than most people, but it is an extremely goofy movie. Alien 3, though, it's funny. That's the one that is the bleakest. There's something so miserable about Alien 3. And I think it's the setting. It's how everyone looks dreary and soaked through and like the shaving. Like everyone's bald. All of them are bald. No one has hair in the movie because of the lice infection. And there's a lot of really good character actors and including Charles Dance is in it. Pete Postlethwaite, or how you say his Postlethwaite, how you say his name, who is also the best part of Lost World Jurassic Park. There's a lot of good stuff in that movie. Anyway.
Are really breaking some ground with this one because we're going to see a xenomorph take on something it's never fought before, a skinny brunette woman. To be fair, they tried to introduce some new things and concepts into the live-action Alien franchise, meaning the movies and now TV shows.
Here we go.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Freeze pretty great, then Charles Dance exits.
Yeah, the moment they kill off Charles Dance, the movie takes a steep nosedive. I also don't like how they kill off Newt that early. Like, could they kill off Newt in the movie? I guess. But, like, it just feels like such an afterthought. I'd rather it, like, I don't want to say I want to see the character die on screen, but, like, I would like to at least, it feels very unsatisfying. Which is, you can also say, kind of is part of the course for, like, a horror story that's like a cosmic horror story, the indifference of everything. How you can do everything right and still lose so much, but it just felt unfulfilling to me as it felt like it cut off narrative potential, which I didn't care for. Anyway, so again, here's what I don't like. He keeps talking about like, oh, it's the live action stuff. So the comics did all this stuff way before the movies did. I'm like, yeah, but the movies are doing it now, so that's what we should talk about. Not did the comics have a similar idea at some point in the past, because AVP had that. You know, they also had comic ideas that were done in the past better. But, you know, why? I don't
Lightning Tiger 77 super chatted $1.99. What direction should Alien 3 have gone in?
I mean, the William Gibson script I like, but I do get the problem is a minimal amount of Sigourney Weaver. I get why they changed it. And I do like the Gibson script for Alien 3, but I don't know if any of the ideas would have really have worked as well as I guess I would have liked. But again, I have no idea what I would have done. I can't act and confidently say I know what Alien 3 should have been like, because they had a lot of ideas and a lot of pitch meetings, but none of them really panned out correctly, I don't think.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. If we cheered for Maria Robotnik's, we'd survive newer.
Yeah, right. You cheered 4 different versions of Maria Robotnik getting like gunned down by Gunn in the Sonic stories. Newt is great though. I love Newt. Anyway, I'm gonna actually have to go to the bathroom real quick if you're all okay. I'll be right back in 1 second. Give me a second real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Don't worry about a thing. Just gonna play some music while I'm waiting, just because I have to, you know, when it calls. But here, listen to some smooth jazz in the meanwhile. This should be it. Sorry for that. I'm back. Yeah, I know. Hang on. What do you even play? Yeah, I have no idea what that song is. Alright, back to this. Sorry for the abrupt change in screw. Almost hit the end stream button there for a second. Hey, welcome. Yeah. Cloud Parade. Yes. Thank you for remembering for 3 months. Smooth jazz. Yes. Sorry about that. Had to just run there real quick because it would not have been fun if I had sat here for too long with that. So yeah, welcome back. Okay, cool. Let's just jump into it, shall we? Sorry for the delay there. I know some people lost momentum in that one, but hey, better I go now than halfway through the stream later on. So I'll be right back. Let's just continue.
Show, because they've done virtually all of this in other media. In the text opening the show, mind you, this takes place 2 years before Alien. It explains there are now cyborgs, synths, and hybrids, which are synths with a human consciousness. What about the alien? They didn't mention that in the text. Again, we introduce a new environment.
Why would they mention it in the text? Like, it's not like the public knows about the xenomorphs. Like, the idea of Alien is that the xenomorphs are supposed to be like this unorthodox, unusual thing. If it's before Alien, they have less encounters with the xenomorphs. Hell, even with the original Aliens, they said that there were no documentations in the public for that creature. I mean, granted, we know that the companies all knew about these creatures, but the public record of this entity was not well established, and that was like decades after the original Alien film that was established. So obviously there's going to be a cover-up. Obviously the companies are hiding everything. Obviously the companies know about the specimens, but you're not going to present the xenomorph as a key component of the establishing text of the story. That text only establishes things we don't know about already. And that is the I almost said synthezoid like it's a Marvel movie, but the synthetic population in the current arms race for immortality, which again ties it in to Prometheus, which itself is a movie about immortality, about the Wayland trying to find a way to be immortal by seeking out his creation. That adds a little bit of weight to that plot component of the previous movies. So that's very important, I think. Anyway, but so far, he's just nitpicking. He's not really saying anything special. By the way, I, as a fan of cyberpunk, love the cyberpunk components of Alien Earth. That's a lot of fun. And I think that Timothy Olyphant's character looks a lot like Rutger Hauer's character, Batty, in Blade Runner, I think. I think it has to be deliberate, the similarities. Let me give me an image of real quick. So, Alien Earth, Timothy Olyphant. So, here is Timothy Olyphant's character in Alien Earth. Let me bring him up real quick. As a small photo. Let me get a big one. Sorry. Where's a good photo? This one's okay-ish. It's only in some shots he looks a lot like. So here's Timothy Olyphant in Alien Earth. And here's Batty in Blade Runner. Bring it up real quick. So yeah, like look at this. They are remarkably similar looking. It's actually kind of haunting how much alike they look in these movies. I think it has to be deliberate. It can't be accidental. Especially considering that both Blade Runner and the original Alien are Ridley Scott productions. And Ridley Scott has been very interested in establishing AI as characters. Like, for example, Michael Fassbender's android in Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Right there, huge factor. So again, androids and synthetic life are a key component of the Alien franchise and have been for some time.
Earth, and they introduce new alien species. And conceptually, I'm down with all of this. I mean, it seems like you're putting too much into an 8-episode series. I think all three of those things would make great individual shows, particularly the one where you're transitioning a human consciousness into a robot body.
Why'd you make a trans joke about the idea of immortality? Like, it's one of those things where it's like you're trying to just drag in your in-jokes for your crowd. You're not slick. You're very unsubtle. And like, there's no point to it. We're talking about immortal robots. We're not talking about gender identity here. But I digress. But yeah, so the Blade Runner mention is very transparent over here. Very obvious, clear.
And call it Blade Runner. Oh, on second thought, considering its current era, don't. Which it's too late because we're already going to get an unnecessary Blade Runner sequel. And once again, there is only one Blade Runner film. Sure, there are 3 versions of it, but there's still only one. But unfortunately...
Is Neurotic like anti-Blade Runner 2049? That movie's really good. Blade Runner 2049 is fantastic. Like... I mean, transhumanism, obviously, yeah, that's the idea of most of this, the Alien Earth's whole concept. But, like, Blade Runner 2049 is excellent. It's a fantastic follow-up. It's one of the best case scenarios for a sequel. So, and yeah, Blade Runner 2099 is coming. I am cautiously optimistic about 2099. But 2049 was a great movie. It was a fantastic sci-fi film. So, like, I guess Neurotic just has bad taste in films. He doesn't like Alien Romulus. He doesn't like Blade Runner 2049. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, some would argue it's better than the original. I wouldn't argue that because I think they're just too different. I think 2049 is a fantastic movie. I do think the original Blade Runner is slightly more my speed, but they're both. But when you're comparing peak to peak, it's peak to peak combat. You're ending with peak no matter which one you choose. They're both fantastic. Also, the anime series is pretty decent, actually, not gonna lie. Anyway.
So far, that's what Alien Earth is. A robot show guest starring an alien. And those good ideas, well, at least so far in the first 2 episodes, let's just gloss over them. They're not important. No, instead of exploring those good ideas, the showrunners thought it was a better use of their time within the series to have a bunch of malnourished, awkwardly feminine to slightly Canadian twinks slowly walking around hallways and occasionally getting picked off by a xenomorph who's now acting like Michael Myers. And that
who's now acting like Michael Myers? It's a xenomorph. Have you seen these movies yet? Also, it's funny you talk about twinks when you show the one android from the ship who's definitively not a twink. And again, twink isn't a definition for a femme, like a person who's like a femme, like a woman. Like you don't. That's not what a twink is. And like half the time you're showing a woman who is a woman. Women aren't twinks. That's not how it works. You guys know what the word means. Is what I'm getting at. Also, the xenomorph is not really in the first episode all that much. It's more the second episode it shows up. So yeah, I just think he doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's what's surprising about this.
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $2. Hey now, what did twinks ever do to this guy?
I can imagine the answer is actually what did they not do with him, but I digress.
It's amateurish, sure. The sets look great, just like with Alien Romulus, but unlike that movie, the practical effects are just okay and the CGI is a mess. But what's worse is the directing and the editing. Noah Hawley tries to imitate Ridley Scott at times, and at other times it seems like Francis Ford Coppola.
Nick Wolf super chatted $4.99. I bet he's anti-Denis Villeneuve, my best guess. I did enjoy watching 2049 more than the original, but I haven't seen the original in over a decade.
I do recommend watching the original. It is fantastic, but that could be the case too. And again, it's subjective.
Olivia Williams super chatted $1.45. Canadian twinks? What's Canadian about it?
I guess some of the actors are Canadian. I don't know. Also, I would never say any of the direction is remotely like Ridley Scott's direction. It's very unique. This movie is shot, if anything, of the entire series, the way it's shot is more reminiscent of Alien Resurrection, with all the very artsy kind of shots like that, which I think makes sense considering who, is directing it. But yeah, no, I don't know if I would ever say any of it is like what he's saying. I just amateurish, also big question mark there. But it's a TV show. It's not a movie. It's a TV show. So the effects are going to look a little worse because it's a TV show. That's just the nature of the beast. I'm sorry. That's how it is.
David Deister super chatted $15. Nerdrotic has never been to a film study in high school or even been out to a movie theater.
Yeah. No, apparently not. Apparently not. It's very disappointing. Go back to this.
Coppola and fails miserably. But there actually is something worse than that. The exposition and the dialogue, which again, I'm surprised because in the past, Noah Hawley's been pretty good at that. The show starts out introducing you to the crew of the Totally Not Nostromo. No, this is the Weyland-Yutani USCSS Maginot. And Disney, Fox, FX, Hulu really wanted to remind you this is an alien show immediately, just in case you didn't get it in the title. Remember the computer screen reflection in the helmet?
Oh, I remember.
Remember the hypersleep chamber?
Oh, I remember.
Remember the crew sitting around eating and smoking? Remember the 2 disgruntled working class grunts?
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember Yaphet Kotto?
What the f going on with these member berries?
Turns out the Magaton is
right, but none of those characters are remotely like the characters you're talking about, especially not Yaphet Kotto's character. He is not an android who lets people die around him. Totally different character. It's the same set because the company makes the same design for all their ships. They wake up in the pods because they're in the pods. Again, it is a deliberate callback to the original film, but at the same time, this is only a really quick introductory scene that gets you immersed in the ideas of the movie, of the show. And then it transitions into the more cerebral discussion of what defines humanity and how much you can change about a person before they stop being human. Them having a few callbacks in the first 30 seconds is not a big deal, especially because you're extrapolating information that's not currently in the actual show. And they're clearly setting up they're clearly setting up the ship to come back to it in a later episode because they don't really establish what happens to the crew of the ship early on.
Returning from a deep space mission, bringing back 5 alien species, including a xenomorph, to Weyland-Yutani. Sure hope nothing bad happens to that ship. And then, by the way, there's a lot of and thens in this, we transition to a child transitioning into an adult robot body.
What?
That's right, Marcy, a terminally ill...
Gavin Carruth super chatted $2. Nerdrotic, that episode was about UFFS.
Basically, yeah. Genuinely, it's like he doesn't follow a basic sci-fi plot. There's different characters going on. It's one of those things called an ensemble cast. It's when there's multiple characters with different arcs and storylines happening side by side, and they just happen to intersect at a key component of the narrative. It's that simple.
Child is going to have her consciousness transferred into an adult female super robot that she's going to name Wendy. Incidentally, the facility they're in is called Neverland. The man who owns it is Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sorry, his name is Boy Cavalier, who seems to be played like Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman, which was a bad imitation of Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg in Social Network. And the wheels on the bus go round and round. Anyway, Boy Cavalier is supposed to be Peter Pan, who owns the Neverland facility with Wendy. You see where I'm going with this? Oh, and they transfer the consciousness of children into other adult robot bodies and call them the Lost Boys.
THYD rates super chatted $13.50. Him complaining about a horror creature acting like a horror villain is funny. Xenomorphs aren't sympathetic. They aren't dinosaurs from Jurassic Park.
Exactly. Like, he's complaining about the alien being, it's like Michael Myers. I'm like, yeah, because they're both horror killers who kill. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to hunt. That's the point. And yeah, no, the messaging is not subtle about the Neverland stuff. It's very obvious. They're playing Peter Pan over them. Like, none of this is like a subtle... Like, he's just telling us what the movie... I keep calling it a movie. What the show is doing live in front of us. Okay, what's your point? Is it bad for literary references to take place in a narrative like this? Is that negative? Is that bad? I don't think so. But the problem is he doesn't really know what he's doing with this idea. He's just saying, oh, wait, isn't it funny how they're doing this? I'm like, not really. It's just a thing they're doing. I don't know what to tell you.
Just in case you weren't getting the subtle Peter Pan references here, they also make sure to show Peter Pan on the screen and have Boy Cavalier, the Peter Pan in this story, reading Peter Pan to the Lost Boys of this story. Shoo, I wasn't going to get it until they did that. Anyway, Wendy and the Lost Boys babysitters are the Synth Timothy Oliphant and Science Woman. And if you're wondering why I haven't brought up any names or anything about the Lost Boys, there's nothing to tell. Alls I know is there are a bunch of adults that act like 12-year-olds and they're diverse. Oh, there's plenty of plot in the show, but there is zero characterization. Remember when I said I sure hope something doesn't happen on the Maggonaut? Something happened on the Maggonaut. Remember in Alien when Ash had Special Order 937, which ensured that the Xenomorph was returned to Weyland-Yutani even if it meant sacrificing the crew? Well, I'm here to tell you Alien Earth does something totally different. They have the cyborg, totally not Yaphet Kotto, and totally not the Nostromo.
Why do you think he's Yaphet Kotto? He's a black guy with a beard. That's the only similarity they have. No, it's one of those things where I'm like, just because there is a guy who is black, who has a beard, Does not mean he's Yaphet Kotto. The characters don't act the same. They don't look the same. They are totally different people. Like, Jesus. Again, it's very strange how they keep doing it. Hell, their roles in the ship are completely different. Like, one's a mechanic. Like, Yaphet Kotto's character's a mechanic. This guy is the security officer. He's meant to maintain security. He's armed to the teeth with built-in weaponry and a blowtorch into his flesh. He's not Yaphet Kotto, like, at all. The only way you can think that is because they're both black men with facial hair. Which, let me tell you something, a lot of black men with facial hair exist. They're not all Yaphet Kotto. Sorry to burst your bubble. That's the only connection you think you can notice. Again, and again, none of the other crew he's also ignoring the guy who watches someone in hypersleep as they sleep thing that they mention in the crew. That's kind of glossed over here. But again, we don't know why the aliens broke out. We know very little about what happened on the ship thus far. It's been left, I mean, unless episode 3 tells us something, which I haven't seen yet, so I can't speak to that one. But so far, it's a mystery. For a good reason.
Sacrifice the crew to ensure that the specimens are returned to the company. It's at this point when he serves up the final crew member with a harrowing acting performance.
Let me in!
We see that the cyborg has a Swiss Army arm, and that would make him the Captain Hook of the story. And the xenomorph must be the crocodile. The totally not Nostromo, which is half the size of a Star Destroyer, the size of a Star Destroyer, I don't really know, runs into another ship and then crashes into Earth completely undetected. Yes, apparently humanity is cracked traveling into interstellar space, but they haven't really worked out early warning systems.
Literally in Aliens, they completely confirmed they missed Ripley traveling through space. Completely. They didn't like avoid her, they missed her entirely. It was only by chance they ever found her ship just drifting off in space. So, yeah.
And I have the same question as you do, dear viewer. Wouldn't that ship the Magaton crashed into notify anybody about it? Anyway, the Weyland-Yutani owned ship ends up
It's a satellite? Basically, and again, it fell pretty fast, so who knows? First off, it's a satellite, not a ship that he crashes into, but who knows?
going down in a Prodigy-owned island. Who owns Prodigy? Boy Cavalier. And how do we know this? Through a very carefully placed and subtle exposition scene within the first 5 minutes of the show where one of the grunts explains to another who exactly he works for. Apparently he was unaware of this despite being on a 65-year mission.
Say that's Weyland-Yutani.
That's us.
Yeah, that's who we work for.
Oh, okay.
Right? And they control North and South America. The kid hasn't done his social studies.
There's 4 companies. They govern the entire globe.
Don't forget the new one, Prodigy.
Started by a kid, maybe 10 years ago?
Boy Cavalier.
Oh, look, the Maganaut crashes into some towers. They should have called it Alien 9/11. And again, this is a complete surprise to everyone in the city, including Boy Cavalier's own security force, who just so happens to have Wendy's brother in it. Joe is a medic for the Prodigy Corporation, and apparently a pretty good one, because we know this through a random exposition scene where Wendy is telling us about him to her stuffed animals.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
By the way, nobody asks her any questions. It comes in cold.
His name is Joe.
Ooh, she's a child, so that's why. Again, complaining about exposition in a series like this is kind of ridiculous. You're gonna get it somehow. Is Alien Earth's exposition a little sloppy? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty fair. But it's essential to follow what's going on. It just is essential. It's also not a terrorist attack. It's clearly a crash, you know? It's... Again, the problem is Nerdrotic talks about how, like, oh, it's not... Other movies have done this before. I'm like, yeah, but, like... You're kind of just describing it in the weirdest way possible, and you're ignoring a lot of elements that are mentioned and brought up throughout. Just simple. You have to set things up to establish the stakes. And he acts like, oh, there's no characterization. And yet, we're seeing characterization through how Wendy is, like, obsessed with her brother and holds on to it and talks to the things. Because we're getting the sense, I think, what they're going to establish is that the transference process doesn't actually perfectly replicate humanity. That the original body is dead, and that this is just a recreation, a copy. very much akin to something that you'd see in Ghost in the Shell, where it's not really the same person. And they even mentioned throughout the whole episode how the kids, they are born with, they in these robot bodies, they no longer have certain chemical compounds that give them emotion. So a lot of it is synthesized emotion, overcompensation for what they used to have, that no longer is present. Neurotics completely ignoring that component of the discussion. There's a lot of points there where they, and again with Timothy Olyphant's character, there is this sense that he is as a synthetic person, sees his existence as inherently superior to other humanity, other people. And that's really something interesting, I think.
What does he do? Well, he's a medic, like a doctor.
And Wendy knows all this because she's spying on her brother. Apparently, she has the ability to hack any security system or computer that she's in proximity to. She also has super strength and durability, and later on we learn that she can hear the aliens psychically through her synthetic mind. But apparently she never...
No, she can just hear it. She's just very sensitive to the sound it makes, because it's, running through the halls.
Never bothered to ask why they were transferring her into an adult body until after the procedure was done.
Your breasts, they're weird. They move around when I run. Well, you are in an adult body now. Why?
Because synthetic bodies don't grow.
This, once again, is unnecessary exposition, and there's so much of it in this show, it makes Mission Impossible.
I think that's pretty important to establish. And again, having the child character ask silly questions, I think, is a great example. Also, they established this wasn't exactly the most, shall we say, properly told story. Not properly told story to the little girl. She's not entirely aware of all the reasons why she had to transfer to a body like this. A lot of it she was left in the dark about. The children are kind of exploited for scientific purposes. And it's presented that the company is exploiting these sick children to validate their company processes, and how the trillionaire, he just wants to have someone to talk to who's super intelligent. It's clearly rushed in universe, and it's clearly on the down low. It's really clearly hushed. A lot of the information that should be available is extremely secret. And that's not good. It's a case of companies exploiting people for profit, as a lot of companies do, and is a tribute of cyberpunk in general. Anyway.
Possible 8 look downright reasonable. Yes, it's necessary information told.
So all the main characters in this show, they're AI. They're AI who are recreations of once living children. And it's not Weyland-Yutani. It's actually a competitor of Weyland-Yutani. In fact, they're in conflict with Weyland-Yutani when the ship crash lands, because the boy genius guy, he wants whatever was on that Weyland-Yutani ship. And Yutani's basically going to send like Ninja or whatever to get the xenomorph back, whatever. But still, it's, it's more of it's like a cloned computer, basically. And I think they're going to show, as the show goes on, the limitations of that copy.
In a horribly lazy way, and forgive me for stating the obvious, you would think young Marcy, before she transitioned into Wendy, would be told all the whys and hows beforehand. And
why would you think that? Why would you think a company that wants a child to do exactly what they want to prove technology would tell the child everything? It's like, hey, if you don't take this, you will die. If you take this, you will live. And that's all the consent they needed to get her to consent to the process. These companies never do anything with the full understanding of what the people are doing. It's Alien. All the movies have the companies doing insidious, shady stuff. It's like all of them do that. Without exception, every single company has done double blinds, triple blinds, withheld vital information that's relevant. The only one that didn't is Alien Covenant, because it's the only one without a major company in it. So, there you go.
While this is Mystery Box, you think they would give the viewer a little more information about Wendy? Or on the other hand,
it's not a Mystery Box. That's not what a Mystery Box is. They tell you outright what they're doing. And that's the opposite of a Mystery Box. There is no mystery as to what's happening with the AI. The mystery box, what happened on the Weyland-Yutani ship that caused it to crash? What specifically caused it all to go wrong? That's the mystery. But there's no mystery box about the synthetic people.
All the other characters, so the viewers would actually be interested in them. The problem with this show is there's a bunch of people I don't know talking to each other. So what's Alien Earth about? Well, it's essentially a bunch of 12-year-olds in robot bodies going up against aliens without any training. Because Wendy convinces Boy Cavalier that she wants to rescue her brother from his rescue mission. Never mind the fact that Boy Cavalier just essentially invented immortality, and these children are the most valuable things in the known galaxy. This is monumentally stupid, especially when you have battalions of expendable people, something that's been well established in the Alien franchise, and even the show questions it.
They're not fair.
Why do you... okay. How did you fail to understand the concept this greatly? The reason that they're being brought into this situation is so that Boy Cavalier can present the talents of his robots to the public as a marketing ploy. He's doing it. He's exploiting these children to further his company's image. He also has no idea for sure there's anything on the spacecraft that's alive. The reason why they're going in, at this point anyway, the reason why they're going in to rescue the brother is because they can hold is because they're useful at, like, picking up debris and helping support the infrastructure physically, and they can survive if the building crashes on them. There's no risk, as they understand it, for anything yet. They only discover there's aliens when they get on the ship. And then they realize all of it.
First responders. They're still in the prototype stage. The loss of a single unit would be devastating.
And the Peter Pan of our story responds with this.
Yeah, so don't lose one.
So it's a race to contain the aliens. Cyborg Captain Hook needs to contain them for Weyland-Yutani, and he needs to do that before Boy Cavalier gets his hands on him, which he eventually finds out about, and sends the 12-year-olds in robot bodies to do it because the Prodigy security team, made up of about 24 people, to search a ship the size of an aircraft carrier crashed into a giant skyscraper, is getting wiped out by the aliens and Cyborg Captain Hook, who, quite frankly, is the most interesting character, and if we were just following him,
Here you go.
DB, DU5L super chatted $5.
There you go.
Even as they do explained it to her, she wouldn't understand a quarter of it. She's 12.
Exactly, right? Like, it's a 12-year-old girl. She's not going to get any of it. And even more importantly, it's a 12-year-old girl who just had her mind transferred into a giant robot. And even then, we're not even sure if it's like a full-blown mind transfer or a copy made of her mind that may lack a lot of what made her, So yeah, and again, he's doing the whole Captain Hook thing. Okay, whatever, that might make some sense, I guess. But even still, even with all that considered, the series, I keep saying movie, does follow him. He is one of the viewpoint characters of the show.
Be more into the show. Again, there's some interesting things introduced in this show that would probably make better shows individually on their own, including the 5 alien species, the aforementioned xenomorph, a testicle Venus flytrap, plant, ticks, flies who we haven't seen, and the tentacle eyeball. The jury's still out on them, but other wasted concepts were transferring a human consciousness into a robot. At least in the first 2 episodes, we don't even get questions like, what's the nature of consciousness? Is Marcy, who is now Wendy, still alive? Or is that...
What are you talking about? That's what the entire first 2 episodes are about. Like, that's literally discussed multiple times throughout both episodes. Jesus.
Just a copy of her mind in a robot. To be fair, maybe we'll find out later because this show is
the mystery box.
And how is Joe gonna feel when he finally realizes his little sister that he thought was dead is in a robot body? That's a great opportunity for some good drama. He would probably be horrified and angry, and you could spend the entire season with him trying to reconcile with this robot that's talking like his sister. Something to the effect of he's forced to work with her, but he hates her guts, even though she's spouting back all the stuff his sister used.
They established at the end of the second episode that that's the case. I'm sure he's going to try building that. Oh, they just ruined it. They squandered the potential. But like, they just introduced the idea at the end of the second episode. And you see the cycle of emotions early on before he realizes, wait, this is definitely my sister in this body. And I'm sure the next couple of episodes will be him dealing with that shock and processing it and uncovering odd inconsistencies between his sister that he remembers and the woman in front of him. So he learns on it then, but I'm sure Neutrox and Pulse like the whole, we don't know what it's like, they never explain it, this, that, and the third, but we'll figure it out.
Used to say, and eventually he comes to some form of acceptance. Either she is dead, but I'm okay with this copy, or she's still alive in there. You would think that, but no, it gets wrapped up pretty quickly.
That's your sister. Slightly secret. Joe, it's me. I wouldn't.
No, you died. I went to the funeral. I understand.
Yeah, so they're clearly showing this now, and they're going to continue the idea over the next several episodes. Because the idea isn't just wrapped up in a conversation, it's a continual slow burn. See, that's what you got to remember.
Where's the way? Joe.
Christmas morning, you were 7. You woke me up before the sun. What did you say?
I still don't think my big toe looks like my thumb.
Yeah, that's the initial reaction. The hug's kind of lame, I will say that.
And that might be because he's possibly dead, because the alien who couldn't manage to catch him for the entire second episode because he had plot armor finally gets him after they discover a bunch of alien eggs. So ultimately, the first 2 episodes anyway were a complete disappointment, and I was expecting more from Noah Hawley. It sacrifices any characterization for a very plodding plot, and it is most certainly a show made for secondary viewing. What is secondary viewing, you ask? Secondary viewing refers to the practice.
Okay, so he has no actual critiques of the episodes. He has to ignore the vast majority of the episode to go into these diatribes he goes on to. But again, let's see what he has to say.
Of using a second electronic device, typically a smartphone or tablet, while simultaneously watching content on a primary screen like a television or a computer. Yes, this is a thing. And that would explain everyone in this show repeatedly getting told stuff they already know. And more importantly, we already know.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
It's a research vessel, deep space model. They must have been collecting specimens.
I mean, what gave it away? The giant spaceship you just walked through with all the research?
This is the strangest review I've seen. Like, oh, hey, because you know what would happen if they didn't explain it so often. Nerdrotic would be like, they don't explain anything that happened in the show. I don't get what's going on. It's so weird. If they removed all the exposition from the show, he would be so lost and have no idea what's going on. A lot of this is by the functionality of the narrative. You got to do certain things to continue engaging the viewer with information. Simple reality. Can baby Xeno pop out of an android chest? That's a good question. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Probably. I'll have a super chat coming in.
Schmaltz super chatted $2. Does he not understand the show isn't over?
I don't think he understands anything about storytelling sometimes, honestly.
Research labs and all the escaped specimens. Then there was the exposition no one could possibly know.
There's a creature. He's loose.
How the hell did he know the alien was a she? Did he see those giant xenomorph calcium cannons? And those are just 2 examples of the horrendous expository dialogue. The tech bro.
It's not expository. He's talking to his team about the alien. Do you think they shouldn't talk to his team about the alien that exists on the plane, on the ship? That it should be like a secret thing? It's like, no, come on. A lot of this is very ridiculous, and they're he's kind of glossing over a lot of the elements established here to make a narrative to his audience. But I'm reasonably confident that enough people have seen this show to realize it's really ridiculous.
Boy Cavalier's plan with the 12-year-olds and robot bodies makes absolutely no sense. I mean, aside from sending them on a dangerous mission where you can break them, they explain his inspiration for putting the 12-year-olds in robot bodies, where he, again, essentially created immortality, as the show points out, an eternal consumer. Now, it has to be children's minds because they're more malleable than adults, which sets up some potential landmines as far as storytelling is concerned that we'll get to in just a moment. No, he created the 12-year-old and robot bodies who will live forever so he can have somebody smarter than him to talk to. A 12-year-old child.
Please have a seat right there.
I guess they could eventually mature, but you're going to have a long wait, bro, and there's no guarantee they're going to be smarter than you. This brings us to the potentials for storytelling with 12-year-olds in adult robot bodies. I'm not saying the story of a child in an adult body can't be told. Hell, there's thousands of them out there. We have Shazam. We have Big. Okay, that might not have been the best example. Just want to remind everybody that this is a Disney product. And in another Disney product, Peter Pan, Wendy does start having feelings for him. Ugh. Well, there's nothing like that yet, but there is this little piece of dialogue.
Why don't you have kids?
Well, we tried to have kids, but I have a low sperm count. Sperms, funny word.
I mean, who in the hell says that to a 12-year-old? But I guess to be fair to the show, it kind of goes along with not just the horrendous expository dialogue, the horrendous dialogue that runs throughout it. This brings us to another interesting...
Again, none of that is horrendous dialogue. It's just dialogue. Like, none of it is, like, particularly cheesy. I find it very strange how he's so forced... He has to force the critique so much. I think we've kind of seen enough. I don't think we really have much more to mine from this. He's just grasping at this point. 2 episodes, and he doesn't even mention Sid the Sloth. Think about that. He had 2 episodes to discuss this, and he doesn't mention Sid the Sloth in this series until like at this point. Who cares at that point? The first thing I said was, "Ooh, look at this! It's Sid the Sloth. He's in, freaking Alien Earth." Let's go to the last of the stories I want to talk about today, which is probably the longest one we're going to be talking about also. Let me bring up the actual article so we can all see what actually is actually being said. Bella Ramsey from Last of Us joked in an interview that they'd like to play Spider-Man at some point. Go away. Go away. So let's take a look right here. Wants to do more stuff with Pedro Pascal, this, that, and the third. So right here, we have this comment right here. So let me zoom in a little more so you can see more clearly. So we got this one first right here. So, and they're talking about like their relationship with Pedro Pascal, this, that, and the third. And the interviewer kind of goes and asks, you didn't call Pedro Pascal and say you want to be in the next MCU movie, like as a joke. And Bella Ramsey says, I don't know about that. I could be Spider-Man. Tom Holland did a great job though. So maybe they do need to make a new superhero for me. Again, like a joke. And, Bella Ramsey admits they've only seen one Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, so they're just saying the only hero they've seen a movie for. It's obviously them being sarcastic. They loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, which, hey, can't blame me for that. So it's a joke as an offhand comment. It's a joke. I want to reiterate this for the next time. This is a joke. So, how do you think certain individuals reacted to this joke? Yeah, you saw it coming. What are we talking about here? Of course. Where do we want to go with this one? I'm not doing Tyrone Magnus because they have the same like weird photoshopped image. They all have the exact same image of Bella Ramsey they want to make fun of them with. Let's do this one. It's a 4-minute video. So, how seriously do you guys think that they take the whole Bella Ramsey thing? It's obviously a gag. They've only seen one superhero movie, and they took it completely at face value, like fools. But let's take a listen. This is Ryan Cannell of RK Outpost, who is another, I would say, less articulate grifter than Nerdrotic, which is saying something.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Bella Ramsey is cat pride, though.
That could work. I don't know if I'd cast them as Kitty Pryde, though. I think there's other roles I think they can do pretty interestingly. I don't know if Kitty Pryde, though. I'm actually not sure what I'd cast. Kitty Pryde could work. Cat Pride could work. But I wouldn't be my first choice. There's probably others that Bella Ramsey can play, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the point of the matter is that we are so irony-starved online that literal trolls can't pick up trolling. You know what I'm saying? They can't pick up on the fact that someone was sarcastic on the internet. They take it fully seriously. Like when I'm talking about Sabula.
Ricano super chatted $10. Bella Ramsey as Spider-Girl. Mayday would be a good casting choice. But yeah, people overblew this.
Oh yeah, I could see Mayday. I could see Mayday Parker. That could work. Especially if they're doing like the multiverse time travel stuff. And again, we established in Spider-Verse, anyone can wear the mask. Anyone can be Spider-Man. Doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter whatever you are. Anyone can be Spider-Man. So the idea of Bella Ramsey, hell, even just voicing a character in Spider-Man, that's not a big deal. But I digress. So, and again, I want to point out that Miles Morales only exists because Donald Glover was a fan favorite choice to play Spider-Man. You know, that was a big deal, and people were like outraged then. Now Donald Glover's in the MCU as the Prowler, basically, as Aaron Davis. Anyway, back to this. Let's see how these grifters respond to a joke comment.
After years of diminishing returns and straight-up flops and failures at the box office and on streaming, nearly everyone is...
And on streaming. Okay, well, we'll wait to see your proof of that one, but I digress.
Finally ready to admit that there's a problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But how do we fix this? Do we pay 1 million actors to come back for Avengers Doomsday? Is that going to be the thing that saves the MCU? Or maybe there's another option. Maybe there's an actor or actress, or I don't even know how this person identifies at this moment in time, that could come in and save the MCU. And that person is Last of Us star Bella Ramsey. Because yes, this is a real headline and it's a real quote. Move aside, Tom Holland. Bella Ramsey says that they could be Spider-Man. And when it says they, you might say, what are they referring to? Well, Bella Ramsey goes by they, them pronouns. Maybe one of the only people that when you look at them, it's like, that might make sense that they go by that. Bella Ramsey.
Again, like the half the comment is just being transphobic. Who's shocked by that, right?
Ramsey obviously is a female, is a girl, is a her, is a she, but goes by she or they, them pronouns.
It's amazing how, you know, a person being slightly different from this guy causes him to have a conniption fit in the process. Shocking, right?
I don't know. It's tough to keep track of how often these things change. But this is the headline that went around yesterday that a lot of people are having fun with. Bella Ramsey says they could be the next Spider-Man. They also say Andrew Garfield's version is incredible and that they loved it. Now, you can see Hollywood Handle decided for some reason to turn their comments off. They had one comment, and that was enough for them. One comment that almost ratioed them, and they decided, let's just turn them off after that, which is kind of wild. A lot of people have things to say about this, myself included. I do think that Bella Ramsey might make a great Spooderman. You know, I think there's a possibility that...
Again, let's remember here, Ryan Kennel here is seeing someone else summarize the article so far. They haven't looked at the quote yet. So it's, again, a whole 4-minute video about a quote he saw someone else talking about online. If this controversy didn't sound stupid before, it should. It's very stupid. It's an idiotic thing to get upset by. Because it's just talking about some quote someone made as a joke for this long. Who cares? Anyways, let's hear the rest of this nonsense.
That could be true. Now, look, this is all with Mark Malkin, who is notorious for these red carpet things and getting people to say stupid things and they become headlines. I think it's a little tongue-in-cheek. I don't think she's all that serious about it. And also, it was revealed that this Bella Ramsey watched her first Marvel movie like a couple months ago, probably because Pedro Pascal was going to be in the movie, so she decided to start watching random Marvel movies. And she started with Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man.
Lupin the Maelstrom super chatted $2. This is like getting all your teeth pulled at once.
Yeah, right? Like, and what I find so funny is he admits he knows it's a tongue-in-cheek troll comment. Like, he admits it's a gag. But he spends the first half of his video making all the usual hits for his audience, because he knows his audience will stop watching after the first half. And so he knows if he slips in, hey, I know it's all a gag at the end, what he can do is avoid accountability for his actions. It's a strategy. He knows it's bullshit, but he's trying to say it so he slips it in like, yeah, I know it's bullshit, but I want to hit the main anger points to my audience to keep them engaged just for a little bit so they can keep watching. It's all a means to make a quick buck over a silly, dumb, non-meaningful controversy. It's cynical. It's business. You have to remember that with these grifters. The reason why Nerdrotic has to hate Alien Earth, it's business. The reason why Ryan here has to make a big deal about a joke article, it's business. It's not personal.
K0MUTZ super chatted 37 cents. People taking this seriously reeks unemployment.
Exactly. It's not serious at all. It's a gag comment. It's nothing serious. But the grifters have to make it into content. It's too good of an opportunity for them because people, for whatever reason, got extremely angry about Bella Ramsey for the creative choices made in The Last of Us Season 2. None of which are Bella Ramsey's fault, I might add. They made them the face of their critiques over a show that admittedly had a lot of problems. Season 2 especially, I think, of The Last of Us, had a lot of problems. Most of them because they were trying to course correct for a controversial game rather than stay the course. This was, I think, a big mistake on their part because it forced them to soften Ellie's character way too much. And they really divested from the themes of revenge and vengeance and how this can be destructive and painful. They really toned down Abby. They really rewrote Abby to make her more sympathetic from the beginning as opposed to this force of just unbridled danger. It's just really stupid. Well, the reason it got headlines is because people clicked on it, would click on it. That's why. Anytime an actor says, I want to be in this role, it's got to get headlines, even though it means usually nothing. When I was working with CBR, there was a rumor that was spreading about Henry Cavill playing Wolverine. Now, of course, in Deadpool and Wolverine, this was such a meme, they made a joke about it in Deadpool and Wolverine, but this was back in like 2019, 2020. So, there you go. What we got here? That was strange. I'll read the comments if for whatever reason didn't read properly. Shamal, okay, what's your take on Bella Ramsey being Spider-Man? Oh, you just hate trans people. Talking about Ryan Kindle. Oh, you just hate trans people. I hate when people say, who knows what this person could be? It's like, no, it's obviously not. Like, just, it's not complicated. They is a pronoun. Just use it. Who cares? Like, it doesn't take time to be respectful of someone's identity. But why be respectful when you can grift off of it and make tons of money off of a culture war that is increasingly unpopular? Because you've already dug your souls into the ground this much, you might as well follow it all the way until wherever it leads. Again, all of this is just basic nonsense. None of this means anything. It's outrage over nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's such a nothing burger of a controversy that's not even worth engaging in. The only reason I'm talking about it is because it's so ridiculous, It's so dumb. The Alien Earth stuff there's meat to that. There's a discussion to be had over Alien Earth. Because it's a show with creative decisions made. You can discuss how they interpreted it, what they missed, the overall discussion of Alien in relation to the rest of the Disney pantheon of works. But there's nothing to chew on. It's just Bella Ramsey made a comment in an interview. Variety published it, knowing it would get clicks, and they had fun with it, Hell, they didn't even use... Brian Kindle didn't even use the original source. They used a pull quote from something else, It's frustrating because it's a nonsense statement. It means nothing. None of this means anything. But let's keep you... Let's hear... Now that the initial anger people are gone, let's hear how Ryan recontextualizes the story to avoid people saying, I knew it was a joke. I even said in my original video it's a joke. I knew it wasn't a real comment and it's not happening. You're gonna watch him waffle a little bit because that's the strategy. Plausible deniability. Let's take a look at the grift and see what he does.
Spider-Man, apparently. But let's Let's listen to what she has to say.
Or I could be Spider-Man.
Okay, make that pitch right now to Tom Holland. You're out, you're in.
Tom Holland did a great job, though. so I don't know. Maybe they do need to make a new one for me.
I could see it. Come on, slinging those webs.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that your favorite superhero?
You know what? Spider-Man was...
They're clearly uncomfortable in this video. Like, they're rocking back and forth. They're not... They seem like they kind of want to leave because they know whatever they say is going to be a freaking article and a half the next day. Like, they don't look comfortable in this shot, I think. And I think it's clear that this is kind of like the writer kind of pulling... The interviewer trying to pull the quotes out more than anything else.
The one with Andrew Garfield, are there several with him? One of them with him was the first time I'd ever watched a Marvel film, and that was like 3 months ago was the first time that I'd ever seen a Marvel film, and it was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
And?
Incredible.
Maybe she just wants to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because she's hoping Pedro Pascal has anxiety around her. I don't really know.
See, that's the thing right there. He has nothing to mine. He has to go the Pedro Pascal well. Again, when you look at the techniques they use to grift, it's very transparent. All he's doing is just pulling the greatest hits out of his ass and then just layering them one after the other. And it's boring. It's not interesting. But a less skilled grifter is more interesting because they actually buy into their own bullshit. And that's interesting, I think. And, like, it's just banter. It's just like a casual conversation. None of this means anything. None of this is a statement. It's just like you might as well be talking to someone at a bar and having a conversation. That's about it.
Like, obviously, there's a little tongue-in-cheek. I don't think it's very serious. But the idea that you would suggest that's the character that you should be, get the fuck out of here.
It's such fake outrage. He has to force it. Like, even watching this, you can tell he's, like, struggling to get any material out of this. Like, they're just throwing an idea out there as a fun thing. Clearly, the only hero they really know is Spider-Man. They're not a superhero fan. So it's like, they don't care. And also the comment about Pedro Pascal. Again, that's the only joke they know. That's the only thing they know. They know like 5 jokes. And that's it. Because that's what makes them money. And it keeps them engaged because it's recognizable names. I know that name. I know that one. I can keep watching on second more and give this guy more ad revenue, which I guess we're doing right now, I suppose, but still. Yeah, no, like, that's the thing. It's so transparent. You can tell he knows it's bullshit, this whole video. But he's got to make his money.
So rightfully, she's getting dragged across the entire internet today. The memes are absolutely out of control when it comes to this. Should we just scroll through? This might be dangerous. We could scroll through my timeline. There's Bugle Daily. That one is perfect. This should be, I might put this in the damn thumbnail. This is the image every single one of these grifters recycled from because they all share the same brain cell. They saw one meme and were like, oh, that's the thumbnail we're going to use. The only one. And it's like, you can even see right here in real time, him deciding what every single other person who's going to make a video about this will do. Because they all use the same image. When we scroll through just before, I'll do it again so you can see exactly, but still. The poster for the next iteration of Spider-Man. Just stop filming Brandon Day with Tom Holland. Let's just get it switched out. Let's get Bella Ramsey in there right now. She could save the MCU. Potatoes will potato. Maybe that's the case. Any others? Do we have any other good memes? We have to have something.
I love how he went, oh, all the good memes about this, and then scrolls through like 100 comments looking for at least one good meme. Also, it's just AI. This is just AI generated nonsense.
Here we go. Avengers Doomsday with Bella Ramsey. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Potato Spider-Man. That might work. Maybe there is an option for
half of these are AI generated potato people. Like, what's the joke? I don't get it. I don't like listen to grifters on the fun on half the time. Is the joke that Bella Ramsey looks like a potato? I don't get that. I don't agree with it either. But it's just a weird comment to make. And again, it's just a weird, like, hodgepodge of angry comments. And none of these comments even were read at. He just scrolls right past all of them. So none of these comments mean anything in the vast scheme of things. All these get like 0 likes. They really have no engagement on this. I mean, he has engagement because he's a big account, but even so, hang on a second. How many? 8 hours, 3 hours. Okay, so 9 hours. What was the initial 130? How much did his
the
comment
memes
actually get?
Are absolutely out of control when it comes to this. Should we just scroll through this? Might be dangerous.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Dismiss that. Only 2,000 likes? 123 comments and 2,000 likes on his post. Huh. That's actually surprising. I would think there'd be a little more engagement with this. Heck, hell, it's not even that big of a... It's actually kind of funny. Like, he doesn't even get that much engagement over this video. Or over this post. That's interesting. Okay, that tells you something very interesting here, too. There's something worth analyzing with this as a post-mortem. Like, the memes are off the charts. It's so... Everyone's making fun of it. Everyone's dragging it. Meanwhile, it's 123 people. Like, that's it? That's really not much. That's like a slow day. Like, that's weird. Okay, hang on a second. That's interesting. Now, this is a story right here. The lack of engagement. But he's trying to present it as like, oh, everyone's doing it. It's hundreds of thousands of people. Meanwhile, he scrolls right by the engagement because he knows that if you look at it, it looks so much less. He scrolls for so long looking for a good meme. Meanwhile, he says, oh, the memes are so great. It's so funny. And he's seeing it for the first time, essentially. He's reacting to it for the first time. So he has no idea what he's talking about. He hasn't seen anything. Now, that's interesting. Totally a nothing burger. There's no value in the story at all. However, I think there is value in analyzing why these people reacting are doing so in such a weird way. Oh, there's us. We're right here. Hey, wave to yourself right here. Let's take a look at the view counts here. So obviously Ryan Kendall got the most views with 64,000 views on this 4-minute video. Longer video, short of 10,000 from Vara Dark. I don't know who that is. Tyrone Magnus, 7.8 thousand. Midnight's Edge, under 500. Oh. Yellow Flash, always late to the party, 11,000 views. Welcome.
Schmaltz super chatted $2. There was a trend on TikTok calling them chopped.
Interesting. Calling them chopped. That's an interesting one right there. I don't know about that. Dr. Disaster. I have no idea who this guy is. The problem is it's a lot of non-binary stuff. It's the same, but look, it's the same image. They just copied Ryan Kindle. Like it's this image. It's this image. That's at least different. At least Tyrone Magnus tried something different there. Okay, again, very lazy Photoshop. Again, another one from the same thing. Same image. The Marvels. Okay. Wow, even the Marvels isn't getting that many views. 2,000 views on a Marvels video? That's pretty underwhelming. Lazy Photoshop. Geeks and Gamers, only 11,000 in this video. That's interesting. Okay, so it looks like to me like they're really struggling for views. Now I'm curious. Again, it's all the same. I can see a young squirrel girl. I wouldn't be my first choice, but that's a possibility too. How is Ryan Kindle's channel doing, actually? Now I'm curious. Now I want to take a look here. Let's take a look at his recent view counts. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see more clearly. So, the Marvel says... Marvel's director did not say it's not her fault. That's a lie. I read the interview. 12,000 views. Okay. But Gal Gadot saying it's because of Israel that Snow White failed, apparently. You know, whatever. 26,000, not much. 64,000, that's decent. Marvel gets death sentence. That's okay. Generic, 59,000. 26,000, 42,000, 45,000, 40,000. Again, mind you, the channel has like 341,000 subs. Not as many as you'd think. 30,000. Weapons had big opening after ditching. Again, at least they mentioned weapons, but like, you know, whatever. The flop. It's all over. That's not what he said either. But again, it's averaging 46,000 views, which, hey, those are the kind of views I get, you know? And I don't have a big channel like you do. This is like a decade-spanning channel. But again, actually worse than what I get usually. Granted, these are very short videos. They're done very quickly and very lazily, you know, but still. But half these are Disney's videos. They're all Disney related. Like, honestly, the Jesus Christ Superstar one is the biggest example, and that's with Cynthia Erivo, who's doing great on Wicked. American Eagle refuses to bend the knee to freaks after Sydney Sweeney backlash. Say, how is Sydney Sweeney's most recent movie doing? I think her career is taking off fantastically. I mean, look at her most recent movie that came out. Sydney movie. Let's take a look. I'm sure the newest one is doing fantastic. Let's look at the news real quick. Yeah. Oh, here's an article from The Hill. Yeah, it looks like Sydney Sweeney's doing newest movie bombs the box office. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Nothing to see there, guys. Nothing to see there. Back to Sydney Sweeney and the jeans. That's what the important thing is. Again, that's the problem with these videos. They're all very generic. Again, Sydney Sweeney, but nothing about her recent movie flopping. I wonder why that is. Strange. So you love Sydney Sweeney when she was owning it to the libs or whatever, but when her movie flops, you don't talk about that. Kind of strange, I think, but you know, maybe you just forgot it was coming out. There you go.
The guy 493 super chatted $5. Seems like people are getting tired of the grift. Especially after their guy ended up in the White House again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Victory defeats the grift, usually. There's always a backlash to whatever power is in charge of a country. If it's right-wing, the backlash is sharp, and it usually goes to the left. If the left is in charge, there's a backlash to the right. That's how it always is. That's how the pendulum swings politically. But to have such a massive victory for the right, typically speaking, it tends to get a little rough after that. And again, looking at a lot of these aren't even getting good views for what they used to get, because look at what he usually got. All right, here's his most popular videos. He would get 1.2 million, 1 million. Oh, actually, only 2 that crossed 1 million. Actually, I thought there were more, actually. Huh. You know what? Actually, looking at this, looking at these numbers, these aren't actually that great. They're not that great, actually. Huh. Looking at these, if you take the average number here of his views, now I'm curious. I want to calculate something here for a second. Let's take a look at something real quick. One second. Oh, we get super chat.
Terminal Sanity super chatted $5. American Eagle sales down 9% since that Sydney Sweeney ad BTW.
Yep, exactly. Well, actually, it's foot traffic that's down 9%. The sales, I don't think they said what the sales are, but yeah, no, it's not great. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna calculate. I was gonna try to find if there's a calculator to find the average view for his videos, but still, it's like, it's not particularly high quality for his views. They're actually not doing so great. And that's kind of funny, I think, because it's like they talk about how important their channel is, how big they are, but they aren't even, like, even looking at their numbers, they're not particularly, on average, pretty great. Like, you just scroll pretty quickly, they drop. For the number of videos they have up, that's actually kind of low. I'm a little surprised. Huh.
Nick Wolf super chatted $1.99. Bane, Victory has defeated you.
Basically, yeah. It's actually kind of unfortunate looking at this. Like, granted, I'm not a particularly big channel. I'm a pretty small channel, relatively speaking, in the vast scheme of things. But these views aren't that good. And this is like this is the most popular videos they have. For the number of videos that he's put out 4,300. Like, let's take a look. How far it takes before they drop below 100,000 on average. So, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52,
Blue
56.
Baron super chatted $2. Keep up the hard work. Still hope those videos over.
Here's going, right? 60, 64, 68, 72, 76, 80, 84, 88, 92, 96, 100, 104, 108, 112, 116, 120, 121. 121 videos crossed 200,000 views. Oh, Scorpion Wolf. What will it take for us to render them irrelevant? I think it's already happened, if this is the case. 4,300 videos and only 113 are over 200,000 views. 250 million views. That's nothing to scratch at, but over 4,000 videos. By comparison, I have far fewer videos than he does. And yet I have almost 12 million views with a fraction of what he has. I don't know. I'm just saying it's not that far off. And my videos are longer, so they get more hours viewed. I don't know. Hey, listen, I'm just saying right now, it looks like the grifters are kind of running low on steam. If this is the best they can come up with, it's a slow work day for them. And it can only muster, I don't even know when the last time they crossed 100,000 views for a video was. For how many times they upload a day? A month? That's substantial. Hey, when was the last time they uploaded a video that crossed 100,000 views? If I miss it, I might miss it. But still, if I miss one, that's not a big deal. Yeah, we're going pretty far back. And now these are popular topics. Superman, Ironheart, these are the usual big hitters. Okay, so about 2 months ago, Ironheart. Okay, that's fine, but still, it took a while to find. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think they're kind of running low on steam, these grifters. It's not looking good for them. But anyway, I think I'm going to close out stream today early. There wasn't a lot to talk about today, and I mainly have to work on Friday's video, which is going to be a video on, again, redemption to an extent. But this time we're going to be talking about superheroes and redemption. It's a topic I've teased for a while. We're ranking superheroes based on how many supervillains they've redeemed. And again, it's an actual topic with me to discuss, and not just simply a reaction to whatever's in the news this week. So, even though it is a shorter stream, I am going to wrap it up today. Thank you everyone so much for stopping in. Next week will be a bit bigger of a stream, and we are counting down until the baby is born, so we're coming up on that soon. If you're in the New York area, make sure you pop in with Anime New York City to, take a look at the convention and, see any of the people who are there who are way more important than I am. Like freaking, like anyone. Like the Kreezer and Lagan. They're way more important than I am. I'm going to be in that show if I can get to it. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching. I will see you all very soon again. Take care.